If you glanced at the newest iPad Air M3, you'd be forgiven for thinking not much has changed. After all, on the surface, Apple's mid-range tablet still wears the same aluminum shell, same liquid retina display, and that sleek, modern design we've gotten used to. But under the hood, that's where things take a sharp turn. This is the iPad Air M3, and while it may not look drastically different than the M2 version, Apple has pulled off a classic move here. They've made something better without shouting about it. For a starting price of $599, this 11-inch tablet now packs the powerful M3 chip, an updated camera position that just makes sense, and support for all the latest accessories. No gimmicks, just raw performance and real utility. After spending over 2 weeks using the iPad Air M3 as my daily driver, handling everything from video calls to digital art to running Final Cut Pro, it's clear this isn't just a refresh. It's Apple tightening the screws on the competition again. Let's dive in. Design that works and works again. Apple didn't redesign the iPad Air for 2024. But you know what? It didn't need to. The design is already iconic. Thin bezels, squared-off edges, and a minimalist aesthetic that still looks fresh. This year's model still comes in the same 11-inch and 13-inch sizes and keeps things clean on the back, only ditching the iPad Air branding for a simpler look. The Apple logo remains, and the 12MP rear camera still sits tucked in the upper corner. Display, just enough, right where it counts. You're still looking at a liquid retina display, which might not match the jaw-dropping brightness and contrast of the iPad Pro's OLED screen, but it doesn't need to. For the price, this screen is exceptional. Whether you're watching movies, editing photos, or working on a presentation, it looks fantastic. Performance. M3 means business. Let's talk power. Apple's decision to bring the M3 chip to the iPad Air is a game changer. This 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU, and 16-core neural engine powerhouse is built on 3nm architecture, the same tech found in Apple's latest MacBook Pro models. And it shows. Tasks like editing in Final Cut Pro, working in Photoshop, or multitasking across multiple apps are butter smooth. Even while juggling Safari tabs, Apple Notes, and Slack, the iPad Air M3 just doesn't flinch. If you're a gamer, titles like Resident Evil 4 run smoothly with excellent visual fidelity. And if you're a casual user who just wants lightning-fast performance for browsing, messaging, and video calling, this chip delivers that effortlessly. Compared to the M1 iPad Air, Geekbench scores reveal a massive performance leap. While the iPad Pro with M4 still holds the crown for raw speed, the M3 iPad Air now closes the gap more than ever at a significantly lower cost. Apple Intelligence and what's coming. One of the quietest but biggest additions to this model is support for Apple Intelligence. While some features are still rolling out, this includes AI-driven enhancements like smarter Siri suggestions, real-time emoji creation, improved photo cleanup tools, and notification summaries. During testing, I used the new photo cleanup tool to remove clutter from an image, and it worked shockingly well. These enhancements may seem subtle today, but with Apple promising a deeper AI integration across devices, the M3 chip ensures that this iPad will be ready to handle the software evolution for years to come. The digital bezel glow around the screen when Siri is active is a subtle but satisfying touch, reminding you that this isn't the iPad Air of yesterday. It's smarter, more responsive, and future-proofed. Cameras, front and center, finally. This may seem minor, but Apple finally moved the front-facing camera to the long edge. That means when the iPad Air is docked in the Magic Keyboard or held in landscape, your video calls feel far more natural. No more awkward side glances or off-centered framing. And thanks to Center Stage, the iPad dynamically keeps you in frame even if you're moving, great for virtual meetings or FaceTime calls. The rear camera is still 12MP, capable of 4K recording and suitable for casual snaps or document scans. It's not meant to replace your smartphone or DSLR, but for quick moments, it's more than capable. Magic Keyboard and Apple Pencil completes the package. To get the most out of the iPad Air M3, you'll want to consider the Magic Keyboard. It transforms the tablet into a true laptop-like experience, and this year's version adds a much-needed function row for quick controls like brightness, volume, and multitasking. The larger trackpad and solid typing experience make this a fantastic accessory, though its price is still steep. The Apple Pencil situation is a bit more complicated. You can use the Apple Pencil Pro, which magnetically charges on the side, or the more basic USB-C version. The Pro version adds haptic feedback, barrel roll gestures, and pressure sensitivity, making it the better choice for artists, designers, and note-takers. It's an investment, but a worthwhile one if you're using the iPad for creative work. Battery life, steady as ever. Battery life is consistent with previous models, around 9 to 10 hours depending on your usage. Light tasks like web browsing and video streaming can stretch that further, while intensive work like video editing will eat into it faster. The Magic Keyboard now supports faster charging up to 60W, which is a small but appreciated upgrade for users who need to juice up quickly. iPadOS, familiar but smarter. Running on iPadOS 18, the iPad Air M3 doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it adds more finesse. You still get multitasking via Stage Manager, external monitor support, and tighter ecosystem features like universal control and sidecar. With iCloud, handoff, and Apple's seamless continuity tools, this iPad fits perfectly into the Apple universe. While iPadOS still feels like it's holding back the full potential of this hardware, it's improving each year. With the M3 chip, the Air is now capable of handling far more complex workflows than before. Whether Apple unlocks that potential with future software updates remains to be seen, but the hardware is ready. Should you buy it? If you're using an older iPad Air M1 or earlier, or a base model iPad, upgrading to the M3 version is a huge leap. You'll feel the performance difference immediately, and the added flexibility with accessories and AI tools makes this iPad more powerful than ever. If you're considering the iPad Pro, ask yourself if you really need that OLED display and slightly faster chip. For many users, the iPad Air M3 hits the perfect balance of power, portability, and price. At $599, it's not cheap, but compared to other Apple devices and even many laptops, it offers outstanding value. Pair it with a keyboard and pencil, and you have a legitimate productivity machine. Final thoughts. The iPad Air M3 doesn't shout for your attention. It doesn't try to reinvent itself with flashy upgrades or wild gimmicks. What it does instead is refine everything that made the previous model great and quietly brings it closer to pro-level territory. In many ways, this is the iPad for almost everyone. Students, professionals, creatives, and casual users alike will find something to love here. And with the M3 chip under the hood, it's not just a good iPad, it's a future-ready one. For now, this might be Apple's best iPad deal, hiding in plain sight.